Planters Bank was founded in 1946 by farmers and business owners because they needed a community bank that knew them and understood their business. A lot has changed since then, but Merchants and Planters Bank is still employee-owned and operated, and we're still committed to knowing and understanding the needs of every customer we serve. Great rates, fast turnarounds, and experienced local bankers ready to work for you. That's why you should choose Merchants and Planters Bank. Stop in any of our 12 locations or contact us at mnpbank.com.
Well, we're on, and it's Hayden Schultz and David Black with the report tonight. Josh Nation joins us as he does each and every Monday night and Friday night. And Hayden Schultz, we're going to talk a little sports tonight. Welcome back to the program.
Hey, good to be back, David.
Well, we had a little break last week and couldn't put it all together because it was a holiday. Thought we'd take a holiday off, but
we needed it.
We needed a little break. Didn't play any football last week. That was kind of a Friday night when we didn't get to play football was kind of a strange deal. What'd you do last Friday night?
I really don't know.
Did you go see a game? Did you go?
Oh, yeah. We watched Harding Valley View.
Oh, y'all did go see that?
Yeah.
How was that game? That was a great game, wasn't it?
It was 31-30. Came down to Harding go for a 2-point conversion to win the game. Don't get it. Valley View holds off to win at home.
Wow. It's a pretty exciting football game then.
It was a good, clean football game. I remember driving over there. Me and Colton Willis were going, and I said, what's the over-under on penalties? Because you talk about two schools who are just so disciplined. Neither one of them are going to jump off sides. Neither one of them are going to get,
Right.
And I said, all right, so over-under's 5. And he goes under. And I think they didn't have 5 penalties.
Is that right? That's just good, clean football. Chris Sharp is watching this week again from Northwest Arkansas. We appreciate you, my friend. Rick Morales watching, Donnie Schultz watching, Josh Tucker, Harold Gibbs watching, Tracy Reed, Jennifer Keedy, the good doctor, Dr. Larry Bennett, Steve Magnus, lots of folks, Julie Keaton, watching our program tonight. Hayden, we'll get into some Newport stuff here in just a little bit, but tell me a little bit about Harding and what you picked up and just your typical Harding football team.
They're tough-nosed offense. Their offensive line's big. They know how to run the football. The Caden Smith kid, the quarterback,
right.
Everybody talked about, well, you don't have Duggar and you don't have Sipe. Well, you got Andrew Miller and you got Caden Smith.
Right.
And they're just as good. I mean, that guy, Caden Smith, I don't think is as good as a thrower as Sipe was, but he makes up for his legs. I bet they ran him 25 times at the quarterback position. He can go. Razorback commit for baseball.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, the kid's got it. Their defense just looks like Harding's defense. They swarm to the ball. They play everything underneath. You're not going to get a big one on them. You're not going to beat them deep. They're going to make you earn everything you get. It's typical Harding Academy football. I mean, they play tough-nosed football. They're going to establish the run. They're going to try to play action you. They're going to catch you on some dink and dunks. They're going to throw a couple trickeries at you. So I think they got Camden Harmony Grove this Friday.
Okay. Well, the one thing about Harding, and it's always been with Harding, they're not going to make mistakes that beat themselves.
Oh, you beat Harding?
You beat them. You got to beat them.
You've never. There's nobody that's ever said, "Oh, we beat them."
Or they gave us a game.
Right.
They're not going to give you a game.
Right.
They're not going to give you a score. They're not going to give you a first down. I mean, you got to earn everything when you talk about Harding and. But that's just what they are and who they are, and some people sometimes say, well, they're not quite as athletic as. I beg your pardon, they're pretty athletic, and they've been doing what they've been doing, repetition, year after year after year after year, and they start those kids early.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about their Pee Wee program. I was visiting with Nate Watson, talking a little bit about what they do for their Pee Wee, and they don't play anybody. They split up their 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, and they'll pick 6 6th graders here and 5 5th graders here and 8 4th graders, and this is team 1.
Right.
And they try to even it out, and you just play each other, and you run the high school offense.
Right.
You run that terminology. You run that defense. You run those things. 7th grade, same thing. You get to 7th grade, they are calling plays just like you're a high school quarterback or a high school wide receiver. And it just shows when they get to high school, they know it like the back of their hand. That's why they go quick tempo.
Sure.
And they never blink. It's because those guys have done it for so long. And so, I mean, you talk about a program that starts from the Pee Wee program up.
Well, we want to talk a little bit more about some high school football. And, Josh, let's go ahead and run our Subway Unity and the Bank of England report, and we'll get right into talking about the Newport Greyhounds. Bring it to me here. All right, we're back on air. Just bring me the clipboard out of it. Just all you gotta do is pull that clipboard out, and it's just bring it right over and hand it to us. That's all right. We're going to talk a little Greyhound football this Friday night on the road, Hayden. And again, the folks at Bauxite were just, super to us, but pretty good atmosphere for a high school football game.
Well, you pull up and it's the pit, and they've got on their home side is concrete seating.
Yeah.
They don't have chair backs. They don't have the aluminum chairs. You're sitting on concrete, and it's wrapped all the way around. Got the band in its own little section, and then we're sitting on wooden bleachers.
Right.
And then you look on the field, and it's a turf field.
Right.
And it's a nice scoreboard, and they had a lot of people working the concession stand. They had a lot of people at the game. It was a big game, a big environment. I think it was neat for our kids to go experience it.
Well, and we were treated with utmost professionalism from getting our equipment from their coaching staff. Coach Baxley and Coach Maddox both helped us, and we complimented those folks, and Coach Doug Quinn, and but allowing us to run our court up into their what I call the post-game coach's house, where the families join after the ball game to have a meal. But those guys were nice to us. They were good to us. And when you go on the road, you don't get to see that most of the time. People are good enough to help you say, yeah, you sit up there and blah, blah, blah. But I thought those guys went out of their way to make us feel like we were, at home.
Yeah, and like I said, the environment it was loud. They're pumped up. It was a good just high school football game atmosphere.
Well, and it was a great high school football game too. And I think coming in, we had just a couple of days of practice, and we were hoping that Coach would come visit with us tonight. But obviously he hadn't. He might not even got my message. They might not even sent it. But anyway, you only get a couple of days to practice. And I think if you're Bauxite, and rightfully so, and you're looking at the Newport Prescott film, I think you're going to determine and say, we're probably better than these guys. But we didn't actually put out the same team that we had the week before. And a couple of changes. You put a running quarterback in. Eli Alcorn was real good. And then when Abel Robinson comes and plays in our offensive and defensive line, he's a difference maker. Not to take anything away from the rest of the kids, but he's just a great big old 300-something pound guy, kind of hard to move in the middle.
Well, I mean, he was the core up front, and he was the guy that ended up making that goal line stand towards the end of the game, just blowing this guy up. You could see that lacked numbers. Some kids didn't get to travel with us, and that was kind of a problem. And you could kind of see maybe some of the kids weren't in shape being out that long,
right,
or having the COVID and then coming back, and you could kind of see some of those things. But you talk about heart, and you talk about that defense. That was Mark Hinesley defense. I mean, they flew around all 11 hats trying to go find the football and going to hurt somebody. I mean, it wasn't we're going to put you down. It was we're going to put you down, and you're not going to get back up. It was just one of those games where you're just proud to be a Greyhound, and how everybody just played, and the adversity hit us, and you get the fourth goal, and I mean the ball's got to be on the 16th inch line. I mean, could you're lining up your Bauxite, you're like, we'll just run quarterback sneak and we'll get this thing, and it was the difference in the ball game.
Well, we couldn't tell from where we were sitting because we were way down on the 30-yard line, and even watching on the film on the replay, you see the quarterback try to go, and he's stuffed in the backfield, and you see the pile kind of going to the right, and you think, well, they're going to get to the right and push the pile on in. And at the end, you see Abel Robinson at the bottom of the pile, and I mean, he was the core, and the guy right in the middle right there. But I mean, you had hounds everywhere playing that Mark Hinesley defense. It's just almost impossible to stop somebody on fourth down in inches from that spot. It's just almost impossible to do, and we did it.
Well, I mean,
in an 18-13 game.
Well, you talk about fourth down, and you're sitting there, and it's fourth down and 3, probably the biggest moment of the game right here, and the Hounds come away with a takeaway.
Right.
Hounds get a fumble. Hounds stuff them. No gain. Loss. I mean, and it almost gets like you already know what's going to happen. I mean, you're sitting there calling the play-by-play, and you're like, fourth down and 3, and everybody's excited, and you're like, it's 4th and 3, they're about to turn it over. Here comes a big stop. Because, I mean, we really need to go back and look, since he has been the head coach of the Newport Greyhounds and ran the defense, how many third down and longs, or third down and shorts, and fourth down and longs, and fourth down and shorts,
that we've converted.
That we have converted.
You're telling me.
Those guys get it. And David, I would be shocked if it was anything under 75%.
I would totally agree. It's been a phenomenal, we talk about it on the air, how well the defense plays in those situations. Jason Tarwater says David was pumped at the end of the game telling them to do their job, and I've just talked to, I was speaking to the clock keeper. He probably didn't hear me, I wouldn't think, but
David's got a rule on air that nobody can get on to anybody. Hey, guys, we got to be positive. Don't say anything about the refs. Don't say anything about the other team.
That's my rule.
Don't say anything about our team.
That's my rule.
No negative comments.
That's my rule.
David is the only one who gets to break the rule.
Well, Gene Grass is a big friend of ours and a great Greyhound supporter, and always has been. And I don't know that Gene's ever been awarded the number one Greyhound booster, but he's very deserving. Remind me of that, and I'll talk to Coach Hinesley about that. But Gene Grass has always talked to me about the Gene Grass rule, the Gene rule, and his rule to me is always don't get on the officials. Now he'll send me a message sometimes and says, it's okay to break the Gene rule here. So it's okay. And I got a couple of messages from Gene the other night. I said, it's okay to break that rule right here to talk about. We don't talk about the officials, and it's not our job to officiate. It's not our job to keep the scoreboard or the score clock, but we probably could have gotten ourselves in a position to where I don't know that my yelling or screaming or had anything to do with. I just wanted them to run the clock when the clock was supposed to be running.
Be aware
of it, and not to say, they were cheating. Sometimes as a clock keeper, you get caught up in the moment, you get caught up in the play, and you just forget to start the clock. I mean, it's human nature to get caught up in pulling for your team, and I don't think they were trying to cheat us. I just think the guy just got caught up, and the officials, rectified it one time and put in, reset the, to the 40-second clock and let it run, but. Brenda Godare watching, and Tommy Hargrove watching the program.
Her kids played hard.
How about the Godare boys? Talk about the Godare boys.
I mean, when both of those guys got in at a defensive end position, and you talk about two guys who are undersized,
right?
Defensive end, and especially running a 3 front, because we don't run that outside defensive end. We run a 4-eye. I mean, those guys are inside the tackle.
That's correct.
So I mean, 9 times out of 10,
they just cave them down and go. Yeah, not these guys.
It's going to be a tackle, just going to wash you down. We'll have a guard wrap around and kick you out. And those guys were in the backfield. There was numerous times where we'd rush 3.
Right.
And those guys are back there.
That's right.
Pressure. The quarterback was on the roll all night long. I don't think he ever had a clean pocket where he just sat back there and got to throw one. From his position,
right.
Everything was a rollout or a designed rollout or getting on the run. And those guys, I commend the defensive front. The whole defense could have got player of the game Friday night. And then, the linebacker positions at Hardaway and Young. Let me tell you, Hardaway, not to take anything away from it, we gave Eli Alcorn the player of the game.
Right.
Antoine Hardaway was defensive player of the game.
Oh, no, whether 15 tackles.
2 sacks.
Yeah, 2 sacks, 15. Yeah, I mean, he could have been player of the game, player of the week, player of the year with that performance that he had. And Antoine was just simply, and Chris, from the linebacker, Jadarius Reed from an outside linebacker spot on both sides of the ball. I mean, we just,
him running the football, too.
Oh, yeah, I mean, 5 played well, 10 played well, 11 played well. 3 played well. I mean, you look at all those guys who contributed, and I'm watching the film right, and I say, well, look at Griffin doing it. Look at how good he. Look at Kratt. Look at these guys play hard. One had a big play, and made a big play, and another rule I have is don't ever holler into your microphone if you're the PA guy or the ad reader while the play-by-play is going on, and there I go, big play, big play, big play. I said it 4 times, and I got to learn to shut up while you're calling the play-by-play.
It's all right. I'll forgive you.
But, just an awesome night. Lots of kids played. Will Keedy. How good was Will Keedy? How good is Will Keedy to make our offense go?
Well, and Bauxite doing something different on the defensive front, of not even having a guy down at some point. They didn't even they had at one point, they had everybody 5 yards away from the football, and then was trying to time everything up and not be in that stance. And you talk about it a center because you're down, and they ask you, and you said it Friday night, was you got to snap the ball, then you got to block.
There you go.
And with a lot of our cutbacks and runs, it comes back from the center having, hey, did he wash his guy down? Did he get him hooked? Did he get that secondary guy? Did he go get that linebacker? Did he scrape? Did he do this, that? And I know, especially because I played the position and kind of run the same offense as we did, you put a lot of faith in that guy because of how smart he is. And Will, undersized guy, 2 different players. Will's a lot smarter than me.
Right.
I'm a lot bigger than Will, so we did some different things.
Sure.
But Will just knows the game of football and knows, hey, I'm not going to get this guy and hold him up, lock him up, and drive him 15 yards. But what I am going to do is, because I know the ball is going to go here, I'm not going to let this guy get here on me. And you just see it time and time again, just how he beats his guy to the attack, and this guy can't make a play because he's walled off. And the offensive line, I thought Jacob Ozier played well.
Oh, he wasn't good.
And then we look up every play, we'd have a run play 18 yards, and Abel's got his guy in the backfield just laying on top of him.
Yes.
And this guy's on the ground fighting him, and I told Ben, I said, you can't do nothing but be mad at yourself.
And I'm going to give Will Keedy maybe should have been the player of the game, and I'm going to tell you why. One time, Abel, when you made that comment about the guy on the ground, one time Abel drove that guy down, and then I thought we were going to get a Hoxie call because he gave him a little extra, and Will Keedy was standing there, and Will Keedy put his hands on his shoulders and said, get out of the huddle. Don't get yourself in a mess right here because you've already made your point.
Yeah.
You've made your point by laying on top of this guy. Just get up and go back to the huddle. There's no need to give him a little extra shove. But I thought we might get a penalty right there. And I looked at it again. I said, well, no harm, no foul. And I was just happy. Robbie Crawford and his lovely bride watching. And I just thought Will did a great job by showing senior leadership, and saying, get in the huddle, don't get yourself kicked out of the ball game.
Well, you had Spearman also playing on that tackle. He got banged up a little bit. Something wrong with the lower leg. Here comes Dalen Carter.
Right.
And you talk about these guys are having to come play these positions. Jeremy Jarrett didn't play.
Right.
Brady Cook didn't play.
That's right.
I mean, that's two you big D-line, O-line guys that can for sure start and for sure give a blow. I mean, they can go in there and say, hey, Abel, get out. I got you for 3 plays. We're going to get a stop.
And I think it's important that these guys did get in and did get some experience, because that's going to allow us to give guys rest and let them play, equal amounts of times. And
then you talk about later on in the year, everybody in week 8, everybody's banged up. Everybody's hurt. And you go out there and give everything you can every single play and every single game that you do play, and things are going to happen. You're going to twist an ankle and you're going to have to come out of play. Well, you talk about a guy that just got in, and he played a whole half at the right tackle position. Well, this guy's got some playing experience. He knows, and now he's watching film, and he's seen what he did. Now he's perfecting his craft. Now the coaches say, this guy got hurt. We can bring this guy in.
Sure.
Not,
what are we going to do now?
He's hurt. What are we going to do? Because that's the thing that these Hounds have got going for them, is the depth. And another thing that I'm saying is they get better each and every week.
Right.
And I always thought our biggest problem when I played was we were as good as we were going to be week 1. Right. We'd go play Nettleton and we'd beat them 54-6. And Nettleton would be 5A East runner-up or something like that. And we'd go play Sylvan Hills and we'd beat them like a drum. And then we'd go, when we'd go play Stuttgart, we'd beat those guys. But I never felt like we got any better. And when you watch week 1, you watch Prescott, and you're like, golly, we're going to have to get better. And then you watch Bauxite, and it's like, well, we're better. And then coming into Friday with Lone Oak, I think this team is starting to figure things out, starting to figure each other out. You had a senior class last year that you relied on with Theron and Chris and those guys, and now they're starting to fill their role. They're starting to get those big-time plays, those big-time experiences. So, I mean, and you talk about Friday, Lone Oak, going to Lone Oak, that's going to be a tough place to play at.
Well, it will be a tough place, but I will finish up on Bauxite by just saying Bauxite really thought that they could take the football and run it right at the Greyhounds, and they tried with their big running back all during the first half, and they changed their philosophy in the second half. And had
Seven got hurt.
Did he? Is that why he was out?
Seven didn't come back in on defense either.
Okay. I didn't know why they took him out of there, but I know that they couldn't get the running game established with him early because of the Newport defense, and then they went to the smaller back who had a little of this, and when you've got a little of that, and you're playing against guys who've got a lot of that, then you can make yourself some runs. But I want to go back to the 4th down play that they didn't score, and I started to say something on the air, and I didn't say anything on the air. And here was my thought process, and I want to ask you this question. My thought, 4:40 to go maybe in the game.
Something like that.
And so you need a couple of first downs. I started saying, well, what happens if we don't get a first down? And I didn't want to say that. I said, well, I'm not going to say that. If we would have happened to have, they had 2 timeouts? If we'd have happened to have not gotten a first down, and there were 2.5 minutes to go, and it was 4th down and 5 from your own 5-yard line, and you were going to have to punt from the end zone, would anything other than punting from the end zone with a 5-point lead as a coach? And I was thinking ahead. Here's what. Let me tell you what I would have thought about doing, and I probably would have done it. I probably would have taken a safety.
Yep.
I would have taken as opposed to punting from my end zone and them getting the ball at the 25 or 30 with 2.5 minutes to go. In a 5-point game, I'd rather had a 3-point lead and them starting at the 50-yard line and take my chances on them holding and getting the field goal. I would have taken a safety and given them the 2 points, and then had a free kick and not punt, but I would have let Will Keedy kick like he did, and he'd have kicked it to the 50 and or the 60 or the 40-yard line, and we'd have covered. And I don't think those guys, unless they just threw one down there and made on a Hail Mary, would have had a chance to to score a touchdown. They might have got down there and kicked a field goal to tie the game. But I'd have taken my chance there. Normally with 6 points, it would have been a no-brainer. But even with a 5-point lead and get you to within a field goal, I would have done that. I'd have thought about that, and I thought about that when we held them at that point. I thought, if we don't get a first down right here, I'm going to give them a safety. Would you have done that?
Well,
or punted from the end zone?
That's a tough question because you ask me now. Logically, I'm going to say, yeah, you take the safety.
Right.
I mean, you just trust your guys. But with it being 4th down and 3, is that what you said?
Or 4th and 5.
4th and 5, I'm not so sure that I wouldn't just go.
Well, you're 4th and 5 at your own 5.
I'm not so sure I wouldn't go.
Really? And give them the ball there if you don't make 5? Up by 5?
I'm not so sure I wouldn't do it.
Really?
Seriously. And I don't run anything underneath. I send everybody go, and I say, look, these 50-50 balls are now 75-25 balls for us. Colin Cripe running with his guy, that guy's got the edge over whoever he's going with. Isaiah Kendall, he's got the edge. Tristan Griffin, he's got the edge. Caden Johnson, he's got the edge. And I say 70-25 because the only way that I think that you're going to stop them is if you grab them.
Right.
I just say, Eli, hey, look, I just want you to throw it as far as you can right here.
Oh, 4th and 5 from your own 5.
Throw it as far as you can right here. Let them go get it.
Well, that would be a gamble. I thought mine might have been a gamble. That would have been a big gamble.
What? I don't get paid to coach.
And it's easy for us to sit here and talk about what we would do if we wanted to coach.
Logically, you're going to say that, but I don't think at any point I even line up and punt. Because
I would have punted. And now what I'd have done, I would have put
just catch it, throw it out of the end zone.
I'd have said, get out of the way. Will, snap it out of the end zone. Because if you snap it in, because it goes in the end zone, it's a dead ball. Will, get out of the way. We're not going to handle it and go to a knee in the end zone. We're not going to touch it and go. We're just going to snap it back there as far as we can snap it and let it go out of the end zone, and then you free kick from the 20. But I'm glad we didn't have to do that, and I'm glad we held them, and I'm glad we got a couple of first downs. Talk about that drive coming out from our own inch line. Talk about that drive.
Well, I mean, it all started with, and they know what's coming. You know what's coming. They had 8-9 guys in the box, and they're just like, look, we're not going to let you run it.
Right.
And we ran it. And Jadarius Reed and those guys, and it little reminded me I was watching Saturday's game against the Hogs of how the guys that get the football and just that extra. They don't get the initial contact and go down. It's an extra roll and a spin to get an extra yard and a half, 2 yards.
Right.
And that just comes from your coaching and comes from your heart of your players. Hey, look, guys, we got to get it. We got to get a first down right here. And then with Eli running, I mean, those guys, you have to sell out to Jadarius, especially if you're going to play that outside linebacker coming in on a stunt. You have to sell out on him. And then Eli just, runs around everybody.
Says the video has been interrupted. Have we stopped?
It does say that.
Okay. Any particular reason? We'll see whether or not we're still on the air or not.
Because it went off when he said extra 2 yards when he was talking about that.
So I assume we're not on. Live video interrupted. This broadcast has been paused. It should resume shortly.
There you go.
There we go. Well, we had a little pause, and then it said, we paused again.
We're good.
We're good? We're still good?
We're good.
Still good to go. And
just execution. I mean, the guys know what's going to happen, and that's what goes back to when Heinze was in here talking early before football season even started. Look, it's the plays, it's the players, not the plays. You can draw up all that you want, but at the end of the day, if you've got these plays that you know you can go to and you know you can get 3 to 4 yards, those are plays we're going to run, and that's exactly what the Hounds did.
Well, it was a big victory. I mean, it was a big victory, and I was thinking, and we even said it, you said it, I said it too, and then we actually, did we get all 3 of our touchdowns?
First quarter.
No, the second. We got our third one with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. That's what I thought. There were 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. We scored with 7-17. They scored 5-39. We scored with 4-52, and then we were in the second quarter going the other way when Jadarius got another run. I thought it was only in the first quarter too, and I got to look at that today, and I thought, I know they were all in the first quarter.
You might have wrote it wrong.
I could have written it down wrong.
I don't put it past you.
Hey, Well, I'd have put 6 minutes as opposed to 4:52 the first or 6 minutes the second. I'd have had to miss the time too. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
That happens too.
Yeah, it does. Doesn't. Just a huge victory for the Hounds, and building on some stuff. And I want to remind everybody, Antoine Hardaway did win the Fathead Pizza
He should get a lifetime supply.
I guarantee you, it was no doubt the hardest hit that we've ever seen in a high school football game.
I asked Matt Duval, I was driving home, and I said, hardest hit ever? What do you think? And he told me he said, I don't know because I wasn't there. And I said, well, let me
remind me, because I was there.
I said, the video didn't do Antoine justice.
No, it did not.
Guy, we're from made to the camera from where this hit happened. And it was just like, I mean, you could hear it. Nobody
Absolutely.
says a word in our broadcast. And I looked at Ben and was like, and this kid gets up. And immediately when he hit him, I was like, he's dead. I mean, seriously, that's the first thing that crossed my mind. I have never seen a human come downhill that fast and hit another, boy, that hard. He said that Punchy hit a guy in 2007. I can't remember the game. I want to say it was a playoff game.
I kind of remember the play.
On a cutback,
Yeah,
and he got him on a crack block.
Yeah.
I said it might have made a better lick, but this kid saw him. He saw him.
Yes, right.
There was no doubt about it.
Yeah, if it were a block where a guy didn't see you compared to this guy knows he's fixing to get hit, and I know this, it was just an absolutely. And Coach Hinsley talked about it and we'll have that at the end of the show tonight. A couple of things, Coach Hinsley in the interview with Eli, plus Robert Turner's plays of the week. But you think about that hit and you go, that's what you play the game for.
Well, do you remember when he had Antoine in here and he was talking about him?
That's what Coach Hinsley said.
He said, the first time I remember Antoine Hardaway was at Greene County Tech, and he hit a guy so hard that he unbuckled all four of his chins.
That's exactly right. He talked about that.
And when he hit him, I was like, Coach Hinsley saw it 8th grade.
Yes, sir. Well, I asked him in the interview, I said, who do you think the Fathead Pizza collision of the week is? He went, there's no question, is there? I mean, is Antoine in? I said, it is Antoine. We gave Abel Robinson one also because we didn't get to play the week before because Abel was all over the field on both sides of the ball, and we gave him one. And, of course, Jadarius Reed got the one from a couple of weeks ago, so I've got 3 of those to get, and I thought maybe Coach might be here tonight, but I'll get those to them tomorrow. But just a quick reminder about Diaz Scrap Metal for being one of our great sponsors. We appreciate the Walker family for what all they do for Newport High School. And remember when Jordan was a quarterback for the Greyhounds and a great run and a great baseball player. And C&M Ag Depot, they're located at 2900 Highway 367 North. If you need some tools, whether it be Milwaukee or DeWalt Power Tools, give them an opportunity to see what they've got. Great Christmas shopping. And let me tell you what, it's never too early to shop for Christmas. You want to buy some good Christmas stuff right now, check them out at C&M Ag Depot. And, of course, Fletcher Land Surveying, they're surveying Arkansas 1 yard at a time, and Kenny's been in the business for a long, long time. Fathead Pizza, one word, all caps. White River Health System, the care you need on the weekends, and whiteriverhealthsystem.com. Farmer's Tire Mart, where the rubber meets the road. El Puente Mexican Restaurant, the finest Mexican food in the world. And, of course, we've talked about the Bank of England and Cheryl Smart Looper and Kenny Thaxton, the class of 90, your Greyhound lending team. We thank those guys so much. And Unity Health for what all they do. Delta Manufacturing Company and the Eves family. Got grandson coming and kids coming and playing. And it's always important that folks that have kids come and get involved with us to help us bring you these broadcasts like they do. And we thank the Eves family and the Todd Norris family, Todd and Amy Norris family. But the Temp Pro heating and air conditioning system, we talk about those guys all the time. If your air conditioner's running slow, call Sam at 501-827-3213. He'll get to you. He only has to work after hours. He works a full-time job at Unity, and then he and John work after hours, but they will take time to get to you. And, of course, we always do the customized vision care and the look back. But we thank all of our great sponsors for helping us do what we do and bringing it all together. We'll talk about Lone Oak here in a little bit, but let's do our two chicks birthday report, and it's coming right up. wish a very happy birthday to the following people who have birthdays on today, including Melissa Washam-Kiefner, Andy May, Jonathan Welch has a birthday today, Becky Grizzle Gravitt along with Judy Welch. Birthdays tomorrow include Billy Keaty, Zana Wilmans-Wooten, Jesse Frost, Mike Stud Fortune with a birthday on tomorrow, Lathan McFadden, Miles Mendenhall, and Renee Fraser Ellis. And then on Wednesday, Aunt Jane Black with a birthday, Lee Condit, Jim Gould, and Andy Earls all have birthdays on Wednesday. Thursday, Yvelda Dean, Vicki Williams, Crystal Daniels, my good friend Mr. Paul Cox from down in Little Rock. Randy Gold has a birthday on Thursday, as does Harmony Tarwater. And then on Friday, Seth Simmons with a birthday, along with Maxine Tarno. Saturday, Christy Sink, Tanisha Reed, and Greg Hammond, all with birthdays. And then on Sunday, a happy birthday to Larry McCoy. All brought to you by Two Chicks Florist and more. Happy birthday to each and everybody and that has birthdays this week, and those people who have birthdays throughout the course of the year, which would be all of you. So happy birthday to everybody, Hayden.
Happy birthday.
The Custom Eyes Look Back is going to be a Custom Eyes Look Forward. Custom Eyes Vision Care in Newport, I start saying the Village Mall. They've actually moved into the old Dodge Ram place, which is across the street from their normal location. They've got a beautiful building over there. They've remodeled. They're open for business. Their phone number is 870-523-3333. Big supporters of our Greyhounds. So if you've got some eye problems, you've got some vision problems, we recommend these folks to you. You don't need to go out of town. You can go see Dr. Gavin McDowell. And I go there. My family goes there, and we really like the treatment that we get. And they're professional folks and got a good crew that work for them. But let's look forward with a Custom Eyes Look Back. Thanks, Josh. And a real quick look back, we would be remiss to do a sports show and not talk about the Arkansas Razorbacks and what they did Saturday. Did you get an opportunity to watch the game?
I watched the entire game.
Tell me what you thought.
Well, I just saw a lot of people negative against the Rice first half, and we're just not very good. And if you couldn't see that Kendall Briles wasn't trying to open up his offense to hide everything that he could for Texas, then you don't know football. Right. And you saw the second half, the only thing we did was just bring in a different formation. Right. That's all we did, bring another guy in the box to run the football. Right. And then we started throwing the football a little bit. I thought KJ Jefferson played about as good as he could have played. Running the football, throwing the football, and then you talk about 5 other guys who ran the football. I know. And nobody was a 100-yard rusher. Right. Yeah. He rushed for over 300 yards. Yes, sir. So that just speaks volumes for your offensive line, and I've said that since you got Pittman. When you got an offensive line, guys, your head coach, you're going to be able to run the football because he just knows, and he's going to go get those big-name guys because he's recruited at Georgia, and he did do this at Arkansas, and now getting a chance to be the head coach. And then you talk about Barry Odom. The only thing that scares me about the Hogs playing this good is that Barry Odom won't stay around very long. Because this guy's going to go get a Power 5 contract and be a head coach wherever he wants after this year. The defense flies around to the football. You talk about the linebacker position. Hayden Henry. Yeah. This guy comes in. He's an alternate unit. He is? And this guy's he's getting to play because the guy's out for the targeting the week before. Towards the end of the game, he's still in. Yeah, that's right. This guy might have just earned him a starting spot at a linebacker position. You talk about Grant Morgan. You talk about Jalen Catalon. You talk about all these guys who just run to the football. And the Hogs just look like a different football team going downhill, the extra push on the runs, KJ running the football. You can't bring that guy down with one guy. No, you're right. They say he's 6'3", 235. Put him on a scale. Right, yeah. That dude's about 265. Yeah, 265, yeah. Don't tell me he's 235. If that's 235, then I'm 180. I mean, here's my take, and I watched
some of the game, and then I really like listening to Chuck Barrett do the game on radio. I think he's the greatest play-by-play announcer ever.
Wow.
Yeah, I do. I think Chuck Barrett is the best play-by-play.
That was a shot at me.
Yeah, well, it not too bad. Chuck Barrett, I interviewed Chuck, it's been over a year ago now, because we were coming into this season, and a guy from Clarksville, Arkansas, and his dream job was to be the voice of the Arkansas Razorbacks and getting to live his dream. And I just think he's simply the best in the business. His description, he's like us from Newport. He's a homer. He's for the Razorbacks, but his descriptions, he's the guy that paints the picture, and he's all the time gracious enough to comment to people on Facebook, and I sent him a text message before the game, and he commented back to me, and I like listening to him, and the guys on TV are those guys are good, but if I were home, if I'd have been home, I'd have listened to the whole game. I'd have turned the TV announcers off and listened to Chuck do the whole game, as opposed to just listening to Chuck do some of the game and then watch some of the game also, because I was at a baseball game watching a baseball game. So anyway, Grant Black's on the 7-day disabled list, injured list we call it. He'll come off Friday. Hopefully he'll get to pitch some this weekend. Missed a potential start this week. He was going to follow Dakota Hudson, but got hurt in PFP, pitcher fielding practice, at the end of the year and turned an ankle.
What a wimp.
Yeah, a grade 2 sprain, which is like a partially torn ligament. He said he could pitch the next day, was in a boot one day, and he told the trainer, said, I can pitch tomorrow.
This guy pitched with a torn ACL.
Yeah, he did.
Like 3 months after surgery.
4 months.
So he can take a little tweak.
Yeah, he can take a little tweak. But we want to look ahead to this Friday night's football game. You go to Lone Oak, and the Lone Oak Jackrabbits are solid. They won a couple football games, scored 54-12 over Carlisle, 28-21 over BB. They're going to score points. They're solid. They're always tough to beat at Lone Oak. Tell us about going down there.
Well, you talk about it every single time we match up with these guys. Even when we played them in the conference play, it just seems like when you go down there, it is tough to get a win at Lone Oak.
Yeah.
And not saying that it's the referees.
No, it's just tough to win down there.
It's just tough to go there. It's a tough place to go, and all grass field, that it's kind of out of date now,
right?
Especially for 4A schools.
Right.
But I love going to the grass. I know Ben, I don't like that turf. Ben's all about that grass, and I like watching football on grass. It's just a different feel. It's got that old school feel. Lone Oak's going to be a good football team, and they are each and every year that they play. And the good thing that when you go play a Lone Oak is you see really how good you are, because they're just like us.
Right.
That you look across, they got just the athletes we got. They're not going to be very big up front. They're going to have some smart guys on the offensive line. Their D-line, they'll have a couple big guys that are going to be playmakers, and their linebackers are going to flow, and their secondary is going to be guys who can go, and they're going to have a good running back, and they're going to have a mobile quarterback. It's almost that mirror image, and you get to see kind of what you're made of against Lone Oak.
Well, and then, you play the Lone Oak, you miss the Heber game, and then you really look, your job is to try to win the conference championship, and that's still in front of you, and hopefully that our COVID is to where we can play the rest of our ball games. It's certainly what you're looking forward to, but I think it'll be a great battle down at Lone Oak. It is tough to play down there, and those guys are solid as a rock. They're 2-0, we're 1-1, and we'll just see what happens. And I know this, I think the Hounds will play well. I think they'll play real well.
Well, the Hounds possibly going to be an underdog for the third week in a row.
Right. That won't bother me. That won't bother me at all. Melbourne, I know, lost a running back during maybe the first half the other night. Lost to Cave City. Don't know. I hope that kid gets well. I hope they're 100% healthy when they play the Greyhounds. And Melbourne's a program that just hadn't been on top, but have been very, very good the last several years, and just they gave the Newport Greyhounds fits last year. They gave us fits holding the ball, and had a great game plan coming in. If you look down the road several weeks, but anyway, we're going to Lone Oak, and it ought to be fun. And the 3 in a row going to Melbourne, and then I guess we get to come home and play a home game sometime in the schedule.
Hopefully.
In the schedule. I think there's one scheduled somewhere down the road. We hadn't played at home yet, but maybe before the season we'll get a home game. But we're going to call it a night. We appreciate everybody watching. We're going to do one of two or three things right here. We're going to, let me tell you what's coming up because you want to watch. Josh will do the Subway Unity, the Coach Kid ad, and then go straight to the Eli and Coach report after the game, and then these post-game videos, and then we will run the Plays of the Week presented by Robert Turner, financial advisor, number 62 in your program, number 1 in your heart. But until next time, my friend, go Greyhounds, go Hounds, and we'll see you next time.
Go Hounds.
Go Hounds. Well, we welcome you to the Star of the Game, brought to you by Unity Health Newport. Number 2, used to be number 1, Eli Alcorn. Eli, your first start at quarterback since you were a sophomore.
Yes,
an awesome night to be a Newport Greyhound.
Yes,
talk a little bit about the big football game in itself, and then I want to talk a little bit about some individual stuff.
I mean, we knew it was going to be a tough game. We knew that they was going to bring it. Like, we knew they were going to be the team to give up and lay down. We knew we was going to have to play hard.
Let me ask you this. When you knew you were going to get the start, we come off a week that we didn't play. You didn't get a lot of practice time. Tell me about the preparation that went in for your first start after the horrific injury that you had just a couple of years ago, and not ever knowing that you'd ever get on this football field again, much less come in and play quarterback, and much less come in and play quarterback at a high level.
Yes, sir. Well, we prepared good. I know we had 2 days, but we practiced hard. We practiced together. We made sure that we stayed as a team, man. Just coming out here, I mean, when I knew I was gonna have to start, I was like, this is what I do. This is what I do. I mean, it wasn't nothing that I was scared of, afraid, nervous, and then I was like, I know what I do, and I'm gonna do it best.
Tell me about the big play when you got the the first down late.
I knew I was gonna have to get it. I knew he was gonna have to run it. So I seen him come in. So I was like, I could beat him to the outside. Like Coach say, player make plays.
Players make plays, and let me tell you what, Newport Greyhounds are Newport Greyhounds, and
yes,
it's an awesome to get to see you out here tonight. We got a lot of work to do.
Yes, sir.
We've got a lot of season left.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, we know we have a lot of work to do. About 30 people we got. We know we're gonna have to go to work. So we're gonna all come together, keep pressing hard, so we can get these wins in conference.
All right, that's Eli Alcorn. Stay right here, Eli. Ben, if you can hear me, or you could tell him, Josh, you can go ahead and run the promo again, and we'll bring Coach Hinesley up here in just a second. Coach Mark Hinesley in the Subway post-game report. Coach, on the road, big defensive stand, a lot of offense. We get 18 in the first quarter. We don't score any more after that, but we didn't need to. Talk about this football game and what it really means for us moving forward.
You know, I was so excited talking to the kids right there, and I was losing my mind the whole game. But the simple fact of is what they showed when it mattered. You know, before the game, we talked about the edges that give us a chance to win. I mean, we always talk about those edges. And one of the main edges that helps you win is when you win in critical areas. And, you know, what you do on 1st and 10 in the middle of the field, I mean, kids are going to make plays, they're not. But when you've got a 4th down and 1 right here, and then they've been getting 1 yard on everything they've been doing, I felt like, and we come up with a big stop right there, I mean, that's huge. And then when you have to get the ball away from your own end zone, and we do it with Nunk just running as hard as humanly possible, it got us away from it. I mean, that is football to me right there. That is Newport football, and that is what makes me proud. I don't care about the score. I love the win, and I love what we did in critical areas.
Well, effort has a lot to do with anything that you do, and those folks that will be willing to put forth the effort. But I want you to kind of give me your assessment. Offensively, I want to talk about Eli, and I just talked to him, and we just saw him, and never even thought he would play football again.
Yeah.
And gets his first start at quarterback since that gruesome injury, and just just a great effort by that kid tonight.
You know what? And I don't want to say that he put the team on his back, but he really did. He played out of his mind right now. And for them to have, and I'm not making excuses. I don't.
Sure.
But for them to have a full week of preparation, our guys only getting 2 days, and we put almost a whole new offensive identity in 2 days with that young man at the quarterback spot. I mean, that is impressive to me. It really is, because doing the things that we did tonight just with 2 days prep, because they have a weird defense. I mean, their guys are all over the place. You don't know. You can't really get a key or a read on anything. So really hard defense to prepare for, and our kids just play tough.
Coach, I look back in the first quarter there, and we're putting a lot of points on the board, and then in the back of my mind I always say our defense is going to come up with some fourth down stops, and we had more than one of those tonight. We had several fourth down stops, and to win at a championship level, you have to play great defense, and we did.
You do, and that's that one stop right there is the one that I keep coming back to. But our kids made a lot of stops when it mattered. I don't remember if it was first down or second down. They held people close to the sticks on first down, and that's big. That is huge. We bend and we don't break. I mean, and you look at that and you go, well, that was a tight football game, but we only give up 13 points. Right. So that's a good defensive effort. Nowadays in football, that's a great defensive effort. So we got a couple things that we've got to fix. Our personnel, we're playing a lot of guys both ways in multiple snaps. We tried to get them as much as we could. I brought in a couple extra guys on that goal line stop, and it kind of made a difference. So, just doing the little things like that. This is a tough group, and they're going to have to be tough because of the situations that we're in. Seems like every week.
I've got to ask you this before you get out of here. We always have a tough time each and every week deciding who's going to get the fathead big hit of the week.
Oh, not this week.
Tell me about the big hit.
Antoine Hardaway. We talked about Antoine, and I know that's the guy you're talking about right now. I don't even think there's a question. We talked to Antoine. I told you about the hit when he was a junior high kid at Greene County Tech. It was like that. I mean, that was the most unbelievable hit. I mean, you can say what you will about it being the T word, targeting or whatever, but that is just a huge hit from a big time player right there. And he did a lot of hits like that. I mean, even from a defensive standpoint, he comes across there. He hit that quarterback one time. I think that was him that hit him right here and got the quarterback kind of dizzy there right for in a big play situation. So man, he is a player. He's our Mike linebacker, and he acts like it.
Coach, awesome victory on the road when a lot of folks didn't give the Hounds much chance to win a football game. Didn't have a lot of time for preparation, as you mentioned. We get us a couple of days in, and then lo and behold, Newport Greyhounds are 1-1.
They are, and in this environment, David, I mean, this feels like people's. I mean, I'm yelling, and I feel like I've got a kid right here to the numbers, and I'm yelling at him, and he doesn't hear me. I don't know if he's ignoring me or didn't hear me, but I mean, the environment was great, and our kids to come up big right here, and this was real special.
Hounds win this one 18-13 at Bauxite in the pit. It was a great victory for the Newport Greyhounds. We thank Coach Heisley for taking time to join us. And as always, my friend,
yes, sir. Go
Hounds.
They try to throw a little out. And there's Josh Drennan with a pick right there. Hound.
Mr. Bob Osborne in the stand.
Snap, go Nunk right up the middle. Nunk trying to kick outside. He'll have enough for a first down inside the 15, right around the 14-yard line. That's enough for another Greyhound first down. Snap, fake. Eli Alcorn's going to walk in the end zone. Touchdown, Greyhounds. Kickoff as Will Keedy tees it up. And a high pooch kick is going to be fielded around the 25. Cutting it up. What a lick right there, Antoine Hardaway. Here comes Johnson in motion to fake, and they're going to throw the little tunnel out to Kendall.
Big play.
Kendall, foot race.
Big play. Big play.
Foot race.
Big play.
Gone. Isaiah Kendall with the touchdown. Snap, quarterback drops back, looks to throw. Tries to look deep, has nowhere to go. C.J. Young in on the tackle.
Great job of reading the quarterback there by C.J. Young. Bauxite does not have a man down. They're all in the standing up position.
Alcorn just calls his own number. Getting outside, good blocking there by Kendall. First down, and Alcorn smartly runs out of bounds. Empty backfield for the Miners. Here's the snap, going to throw the tunnel out wide. Josh Drennan there, but Jadarius Reed comes to bring him down, and we do have a flag on the play. Snap, quarterback looks to throw. Going to try to take a shot. Has nowhere to go. Wrapped up right there. That's big Jaden Godare in on the sack. Snap, quarterback looks to throw on the out route. He won't have enough for a first down.
He didn't get it.
Here's the snap. They're going to throw the bubble out to Crite. Crite makes a guy miss and makes another guy miss. He's up to around the 45, enough for a first down for the Hounds.
8:26 to go here in the second quarter.
1st and 10, quarterback keep. And Eli Alcorn with a big play. Eli trying to get outside. Eli brought down inside the 30, inside maybe the 25-yard line. Snap, Reed dives in the end zone. Touchdown, Greyhounds.
On 4th down.
Snap, quarterback rolls out, puts his head down. There's a big lick right there, Jadarius Reed, along with Antoine Hardaway. Snap, play action. Quarterback stepping up, and he's hit by Matthew Riley. It's picked up by Noah Curtis. Noah Curtis with a return. He's got a little room. Noah Curtis makes the guy miss, and he's almost near midfield. Hounds with great field position here with 52 seconds to go in the first half. They're going to the end zone here.
Just knock it down, guys.
Snap, quarterback looks to throw. Throws to the end zone, incomplete. That will end the first half. Hounds leading here 18-7. It's been all Hounds. Hounds have played a very good half of football. Snap, handoff again, tries to cut it up, can't. Big Abel Robinson and Jadarius Reed on the tackle. We got a quarter left to decide a winner here in the pit in Bauxite, Arkansas.
It's been a darn good one, Hayden Schultz.
Snap, hand off. Cuts it up. There's a big lick again. Antoine Hardaway.
He's bringing the hat tonight, isn't he, Hayden?
That kid's played hard all game.
Excuse me. 3rd and goal from the 4.
Quarterback calls his number again. Goes up the middle. They're going to say he's short. They're going to say he's short. 4th and goal from maybe the 1.
And again, play of the game right here.
What do you say right here?
I'm ready.
They're going to break the huddle quick, I'm sure, and try to get it cheap. Coming to the line quick, quarterback under center. Snap, quarterback sneak. I don't think he got it.
He didn't.
I don't think he got it.
He didn't make it, folks.
I don't think he got it.
He didn't make it. Hound hold.
Don't know who's on the tackle there.
First down, Newport.
Now. What a stop by the Hound defense. It just that is just guts. That's having gravel in your guts. That's just willing it.
Now, you got your backs to the wall offensively, and you want to run some clock. You need to run at least a play or two here.
Snap. Jadarius Reed up the middle. Reed holding on to the football. Hounds are going to win it here on the road in the pit against a nitty-gritty Bauxite Miners team.